Go ahead.
I'm just an old codger that likes to write poems, and here's one I wrote several years ago. A Thanksgiving Day story for children. Well, hello there, little people. Hope all of you are doing well. I'm sure you like to hear stories, so a story just for you I will tell. This is a little tale about a poor little boy on a Thanksgiving Day long ago, whose family had no food in their house and the cold winds were starting to blow. Soon it would be dark, and with no food to be found, what they'd eat, well, he just didn't know. And as he looked out his window, he noticed outside that it had just started to snow. Well, it wasn't too long when he heard a knock on the door, and when he opened it, there stood an old bear. The bear had a big sack, and he said to the boy, "I've got some food that I'd sure like to share." So the boy let him in, and the old bear sat down, and on the table he spread out the food. There was turkey and yams and all the good stuff that would cause a happy Thanksgiving mood. Well, the whole family sat down, and they just couldn't believe when they saw the old bear bow his head. And he said, "Now is the time that we must all pray, so listen up to what that old bear said." He said, "Dear Lord, I came here on Thanksgiving Day because I had something I wanted to share. So please bless this food and this little family right here, and also, if you would, this old bear." Well, with the prayer given up, they all started to eat. It was sure a moment worthwhile when the old bear looked down and winked at the boy, and the little boy gave the bear a big smile. Then they all sat around a big potbelly stove until it was time for the old bear to leave. But when they said goodbye, they all started to cry, as it was just more than they could ever believe. The little boy and his family started to worry about that old bear out in the deep snow. They wondered if they would ever see him again, as that was something they just didn't know. Well, the next morning they heard another knock on the door, but when they opened it, they found no one there. And as they looked out, the snow was all gone, except for some white tracks left by that old bear. Then they asked each other where the old bear came from and why he even came by. Then the little boy said, well, he wanted to share, and maybe he came from the sky. Well, that's the end of the story. You now know what it means to share. So when you bow your head to pray on Thanksgiving Day, stop and think what was done by that old bear.